people who, when they are on the verge of getting a knighthood, want to sanitize themselves, but I cannot sanitize the Speaker of the House of Assembly. Human character can only be sanitized by a conversation with the Maker. There's nothing I can do to help Mr. Roy. I apologize for that. I am sorry, I cannot help him. I cannot help Miss Motley to live a more moral life. And as to Billy Miller, she has carried out some of the most vicious tirades in this country against speakers of the House of Assembly, and I have been in the House and seen it. She has one of the most filthiest tongues in politics, and yet she could get in the House and put on her international accent to talk about the leader of the opposition. She and I are not company. I never took any instructions from her, and there was a time when I was the youngest member of the Democratic Labour Party and leader of a parliamentary group that told me to stand up to her. She tried the same nonsense before, and eventually she had to agree to meet with me every week before the House started to discuss with us what business she would be transacting on that day. And yet she would encourage younger parliamentarians to act as if persons who have been elected to the House of Assembly on behalf of you, the citizens of this country, to represent your interests, to tamper with the rights of those individuals such that they cannot get their point of view across, or that they have to sit and accept abuse in this very parliament of our country. We've seen the Prime Minister do it in budget after budget. I've seen Ms. Motley do it, particularly when you are absent, because she is a political sniper. Don't mind all the fulminations. She is a sniper, and she has now become a gutter sniper too. And we want to lift the standard of our parliament, and that is why we say we want to have conflict of interest legislation, integrity legislation, declaration of assets, and that is why we want to reduce the immunities that parliamentarians have in this country to get in that very parliament of our country and to curse and abuse innocent citizens and then claim parliamentary privilege. I want to say this to the Speaker of the House of Assembly. I have never, ever, and will never say anything about anybody in that parliament that I cannot repeat on a political platform anywhere in Barbados. It has never happened, and it will never happen. But you need to understand that this is a government of deception. In the statement that the lady from Hardwood issued to the newspaper, she said there were 3 people that they had complained to. I want to tell you what Ms. Motley stands for, because I never knew where my information came from. But let me tell you the 3 people that said the complaint to. Mr. Clyde Maskell. Well, that was a waste of time because he already had his hand in the cookie jar. You don't complain to a man whose hand is already in the cookie jar. They then complain to his personal aide. The same man that went up there to write the labor code for Hardwood while being paid by the taxpayers of Barbados. Well, he had both hands in the cookie jar. So there was no point complaining to him. But do you remember the 3rd person that they said they carried information and complained to? I don't think it was published, so you won't remember, but I can tell you, the Nation cut it out. You know, they have lawyers down there who have an interest in cutting out those kinds of things, and I'm sorry that the Nation did not carry the lady's statement as it was made available. You have to carry that on the internet or otherwise. But she said the third person that they complained to was the personal assistant of the Deputy Prime Minister of Barbados. Mia Motley's assistant. They went down to the branch office and complained and told her what was happening and gave her information. And about a week later, the information was in our possession. So don't mind the fulmination. That's why sometimes I have to laugh. I say I don't know where it came from. I know about my constituents that complain to me, but they would not be in a position to give me certain information, I assume. So you need to understand what is going on in Barbados. I am not in any battle like that. I leave Mia, Maskell and Atherley to fight it out among each other. Those kinds of strategies are common in democracies like ours, where prime ministers put their minions to fight each other like dogs, so that as long as those beneath them are fighting, they will always be preeminent. And that is what is happening in Barbados tonight as I speak to you. So Ms. Motley is fighting for preeminence. And she doesn't mind who she tramples, who she destroys, who she bites up and spits out, as long as she can get her own way in the politics of this country. But the politics of Barbados is not only about hardwood. Because when you get over that, you need to understand that you have a government that is so deceptive and dishonest that even the challenges of the cost of living in this country, it will not grapple with. I told you how the Prime Minister went to Guyana and told his colleagues. Let me pause for a minute. You know what his criticism of the Democratic Labour Party is? That we do not have people who have the political experience to handle the big issues of globalization. So that you should not elect a Democratic Labour Party government because our only issue is hardwood.